You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like life, I'll rise.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless.
Welcome to the Black News Beat, everyone. It is Wednesday, April the 8th, and we have a great show for you here today. We are squarely in the heart of Black History Month, Black Women's History Month. We are 8 days in. It's a time to honor the resilience and leadership of women who carry the community on their backs, especially here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And to that effect, we have a wonderful guest for you today. So stay tuned for that. Now, if you're looking for a reason to step away from the chaos and madness of the world, and literally it is chaos and madness, because I know that we were all waiting with bated breath yesterday to see if we were going to be entering into World War III, and crisis averted for the time being with this 2-week ceasefire. But if you are need a reason to step away from all of this, today is National Empanada Day. Empanadas are one of my favorite things on the entire planet. Okay, so I was happy to hear this. I will be going down to have empanadas today from my favorite restaurant in Harrisburg, Los Tres Cubanos, right down there in Shipoke, right across the street from my house. I'm so excited. They have some of the best empanadas in the city. Shout out to a couple of the places too that have great empanadas. Men in the Kitchen, excellent empanadas. I was very excited about that. I could go on. I can give you a whole list, but those are two great places in the city of Harrisburg where you can get empanadas today for National Empanada Day. Men in the Kitchen and Tres Cubanos, both right here in the city limits. So I think you should definitely take advantage of that. And it is also National Zoo Lovers Day. Now, I can't say that I love zoos. I think they look a little like prisons. But I do think that it's important to be able to learn about new and different animals that you have never seen before. Yesterday, I watched I literally fell down a rabbit hole because I was stressed about this cute little marsupial that was eating leaves. And I just watched that for 20 minutes because it was soothing. So even if you can't get to a zoo today, go on Animal Talk, go on Animal Instagram, Dogs of Instagram, Cats of Instagram, Dogs of Facebook, and take a breather, look at some cool new animal today and have a good time doing that. So grab a savory snack and maybe visit the wildlife, because the headlines today are a reminder of just how much and how wild the world can be. From a major capitulation in the White House to a local legal battle that's been 5 years in the making, we have a lot to cover. This is the Black News Beat. Let's sweep these streets and let's see what's going on in the country and around town. Well, do we have a lot to talk about today? So yesterday, as I mentioned, we narrowly avoided the crisis of entering into World War III because for some weird reason, probably sundowners and dementia, the President of the United States declared early Tuesday morning that, or probably I think it was actually Sunday into Monday, that Tuesday was going to be literally demolition day for Iran, and that he was going to wipe out an entire civilization and send them back into the Stone Ages. Can anybody say war crimes? Because that sounds completely ridiculous. After weeks of aggressive all hell warnings and ultimatums, the Orange Terrorizer backed down late last night, agreeing to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran. Now, Iran is celebrating, saying they won. Trump is celebrating, saying they won. But all I have to say is this. If you have worse gas prices and worse conditions in the world by entering into this war of choice than you did before entering into the war of choice, who really won? Who won? First of all, nobody really wins. Iran and their regime, they are saying they won. The Trump administration is saying they won. Who really wins in war? The answer is no one. There are almost 4,000, between 4,000 and 5,000 people dead, with the bulk of those being Iranians. Now, again, even though Iran were the ones who were fired upon, right? They didn't start this. They were like, we're going to finish it if you keep trying us. So entering into this conflict with Iran would have been escalating, because we're already in the conflict with Iran, would have been horrible for the world. It was already horrible for gas prices. It was already horrible for groceries. And it's not over. Just because there is this 2-week ceasefire, the tensions are still high, and there are still many things that need to be put in place. So the sudden pivot comes from just hours before a major deadline that many fear would lead to open conflict and literally World War III. And what we're also not talking about is how Trump and his family have been enriching themselves this entire time and have gotten billions of dollars richer just in the last year and very much since the war started, including his sons, because they are investing in companies that are profiting from the war. So they are also profiting, right? Defense companies and ammunition companies and weapons companies. So please keep your eye on that. War is profitable for the very rich, and they are taking the full advantage of that. And why does this even matter? Why are we talking about it still? Because it affects the entire globe, and we should be well aware of what's going on. For our community, global instability has always hit home at the gas pumps, and in the federal budget, in our state budget. While the ceasefire is a relief, and I'm putting quotes around relief, the Danger Yam's erratic brinkmanship keeps the world on edge and distracts from the domestic issues like housing and healthcare that actually impact Black Harrisburg and our region, right? And so is this actually diplomacy? That's the question I have today. Or is the Danger Yam just resetting the clock to keep us all distracted? And distracted from what, you may ask? How much money he's making off of this war and the Epstein files. That's a real thing that's happening. Next up, I really want to celebrate something today. You know, it feels like it's all doom and gloom, but there are some beautiful things happening in this world. And one of them is the 17-pound miracle. A Black male surgeon has made medical history by successfully removing a 17-pound fibroid from a patient who was 17 weeks pregnant. This is the craziest thing that I've seen as a woman who has suffered with plenty of different menstrual and other female issues. This to me is so awesome. Most cases of this magnitude end in the loss of the pregnancy. But in this instance, mother and baby are recovering and are healthy. Let's take a look at this video. Please watch this through. It is an amazing story.
So I just had the most amazing, unbelievable case of my career where 17-week pregnant woman that had the most enormous fibroid that I've seen. It's the biggest fibroid of my career. And, you know, she very early in her pregnancy and just couldn't, you know, tolerate things. Things were just really heavy for her. And she went to high-risk specialists and they said that it needed to be removed. And she went to multiple doctors and they told her that there's no other way to deal with it other than a vertical incision, myomectomy, and most likely probable hysterectomy with this. She was told to terminate her pregnancy and she didn't want to do that. And even to me, when I got here, there were so many people that tried to block the surgery and tried to cancel the surgery and wouldn't let me do it. But at the end of the day, like, there's so much that happens in medicine that people do not understand, that I won't even get into the bias, the racism, or any of those other things. But I will say that this was amazing. I don't, you know, toot my own horn or like get too big about the things that I do, but I'm the best at this. I'm the best at this. This right here is like, nobody would have done this. Nobody would have completed this but your boy. Like, this is the most amazing thing I've seen. So the largest fibroid that I had before this was 20 pounds. This is a 27-pound fibroid in a 17-week pregnant woman. And not only was the fibroid removed in its entirety through an incision this big down low, but more importantly, her pregnancy is intact. Little fetus is just in there doing his or her business. Heart rates 150s, 160s, no significant blood loss. She feels great, feels good. I challenge anybody, show me where this has been done in the world, in the history, where somebody's had a fibroid mass this large in pregnancy, removed, pregnancy preserved through a mini Fan and Steel or low transverse incision to remove greater than 25 pounds. Hasn't been done. Fibroid Slayer. Hey, I'm gonna toot my horn on this one. This one is dope. I'm one of one, and this is a one of one case. And I'm so happy that I was able to help her, and more importantly, just show that what can be done with, you know, hard work, determination, and the the insistence of doing things to help people and not putting the comfort level on myself, but to look out for her post-operative pain, her post-operative recovery, and now our future pregnancy.
Such a relief. I feel so much better. My baby is doing amazing. At 164 beats per minute this morning, and they're bouncing, moving around. So I'm so grateful.
It challenged me, and I think that it's something that, well, one, you have absolutely needed it, but
yeah.
See a smile on your face and see some back to normal.
I was terrified to try to get surgery, but it's not the absolute worst thing. But be confident in how you feel about your body, and make decisions that you feel like long-term you can be satisfied.
Yes, yes, yes. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was such a miracle. And we know the statistics on Black maternal mortality are a crisis. And we'll talk about this in Last Lap as well. The story is a testament to the life-saving importance of having Black doctors who listen to us and have the expertise to save our lives when the system is often failing us. So, how many sisters are walking around with silent health issues right now because they do not have access to this kind of specialized care? And that's the questions we need to be asking. Next up, this story is one that's near and dear to my heart. I've had this young man on the show before. This is the story of the conviction of Imhotep Muhammad. And you'll excuse me if I get emotional, because this is something I've been working on and been trying to affect for a little while now, and it's very near and dear to my heart. So after 5 years and 2 mistrials, a Dauphin County jury convicted Imhotep Muhammad yesterday on a felony firearm charge. Muhammad spent 26 months in prison awaiting this outcome, a period where his health deteriorated so badly he lost teeth and developed chronic kidney disease. Judge K. Kennedy McShane immediately revoked his bail, citing fears he might flee before his jury sentencing in July. The fact is that the DA's office, under Fran Chardo, refused to let this go despite the previous jury's inability to convict. The framing is that this case highlights a relentless persecution of a Black man who was already punished by the system before his final trial even began. When the process itself is punishment, 26 months in isolation for a charge juries could not agree on, we have to ask, is this justice or is this a vendetta? If the goal is public safety, how does keeping a man in isolation for 2 years over a broken taillight make Harrisburg safer? And I want to say this. I was in the courtroom the first day, and what I saw on the stand immediately had my heart beating fast, from one Officer Cummings, Pennsylvania State Police, who admitted to profiling Imhotep horribly before stopping him. He admitted to the fact that he looked up his plates before he got out of the car and said that because it wasn't registered there and because he was in a high crime neighborhood, he was there to buy drugs or to sell drugs. That was what he said on the stand. Everyone in the courtroom heard it. I was sitting next to Imhotep's girlfriend, and we both gasped because he said it so plainly, like it was normal. And the other thing I want to highlight is the system. Because Imhotep could not afford a lawyer, he represented himself, and that's the worst possible situation to be in. That prosecution objected to every single thing he said, and Judge Kenny McShane agreed with every single one of their objections. And some of them were they were taking advantage of the fact that he was representing himself. But why was he representing himself? He was representing himself because it is expensive to have a lawyer. It's very expensive. And who is trusting a public defender who seems to be in bed with the county and with the DA's office? Who would trust that? Who would trust that? So now this young man has this conviction on his record, and who knows what's going to happen to him next with his sentencing in July. And the other part of this was, if you saw the video, there's no proof that the gun that they had somehow miraculously found under the car, which was nowhere apparent in the video. They said he threw it under the car, nowhere apparent in the video. They used a sound. They said, well, can you hear the gun? Yeah, it sounds like he threw it. From where? None of that was on video. And so we have this jury believing this officer that made up evidence out of thin air and produced a gun after the fact Also said he felt marijuana in his pocket, even though it's clear on the video he took nothing out of his pockets. It was clear also that Imhotep did not consent to a search. So all around, this stop was illegal. And the DA decided to retry this case until he got what he wanted, until he got the jury he wanted, until he put a young man who was already punished by the system away for absolutely no reason. Imhotep had all his other charges, except for some misdemeanor charges on this case, dismissed on his own. On his own. So, Harrisburg, if you care about things like this, you have to remember it's going to be 9 long years, but you have to remember Judge Katie Kennedy McShane for this instance here. You have to never stop talking about it. Number one, she immediately got into office, immediately got into that seat, and immediately turned on our community after promising to be a judge that wouldn't be that person. That's number one. Number two, never ever forget Fran Chardo and how he continues to treat our community, and he continues to put prosecution and upholding his 100% conviction rate over everything else. So those are the things you have to remember. You have to move as a community that understands this and has a long memory. Your institutional memory must be long. Your neighborhood memory must be long. Your judicial memory of what's happening in our county must be long. Okay. Moving on to media and melanin. I am in the midst of all of the things that are happening at the local and national level. I am still trying to find joy in certain places. And one of those places I'm finding it is in Watson with Morris Chestnut. We talked about this on the show before, but Watson, a play on Sherlock Holmes and his sidekick Watson, is doing excellent on Paramount Plus. Watson, starring Morris Chestnut, is officially a ratings powerhouse as it moves through its second season on CBS. I'm watching it on Paramount Plus because I don't have cable. I don't know who has cable anymore, but some of y'all do. So if you do have it, please tune into that. And this matters because, like, seeing a Black man lead a massive medical procedural show and doing it with grace and class and intellect really shatters these tired tropes that Hollywood usually feeds us about Black men, and even about Morris Chestnut himself in the roles that he's been in. So it's really, really refreshing to see him in this role. So who are you binging this week? Is it Morris Chestnut? And is he still the king of TV on Wednesday nights for you? I know he is for me. And the next thing I'm watching too is Imperfect Women with Kerry Washington. So Kerry Washington has a new series on the scene titled Imperfect Women, a psychological thriller that explores the complexities of female friendships and secrets. It is crazy. The first couple of episodes, I was like, oh man, do they have Kerry Washington playing this role again where she's doing the thing, where she's capitulating to men and trying to save the day all the time? Very different role for her. It starts off that way, and I think they were trying to bait and switch us because they understand how Kerry Washington has showed up as, in Scandal and other different roles, in Little Fires Everywhere, other things she's been in. This is different, and it's very interesting to watch so far. I'm not no spoilers, but I want you to definitely check that out. That's on Apple TV. It matters because Kerry continues to use her platform to produce and star in roles that show Black women in all their messy, complicated, and powerful glory. And it's really great the way that they position her. Yes, she is still fawning over a white man a little bit. I'm so sorry. But the way the story twists and turns tells you that it's very layered. The way they present her character as a powerful yet still vulnerable person really gives her the layers that you don't necessarily. I think you didn't even really see this amount of layers from her on Scandal. Personally, she became very one note on Scandal. She was very one note in Little Fires Everywhere, and I feel like this is a much more complicated, layered character. So definitely watch out for that. It's on Apple TV, and you can read all about her on Variety and on some of the different outlets that are covering the show. But definitely give it a watch. And I am so glad we have made it through the first segment. We will be right back with upcoming events. See you in a sec.
Tonight in Harrisburg, the young professionals of color are honoring Black History Month by looking ahead.
Fox 43's Melina Brown has more on the event focused on Black History Month and Harrisburg's future Juneteenth festivities.
We all got blood in our veins. In a room filled with community leaders, families, and young people, the future.
I am Little Miss Black Pennsylvania Jr.
and the foundation of Harrisburg stood side by side.
I am the Juneteenth concert chair, as well as YPOC board, and founder and CEO of Power Choice Productions.
The young professionals of color hosted the event to honor Black History Month, with a special focus on the city's upcoming Juneteenth celebrations. Organizers say it's about more than just planning a festival, it's about celebrating the culture.
Music, art, storytelling, fashion, community, entrepreneurship.
Part of Thursday night's event was the focus on connection. People listened to stories, music, and art, while community leaders encouraged the next generation to take ownership of their future.
Black history is important to me because it's about my origins, and I feel like everybody should go out and learn more about Juneteenth. And I feel like that it's important that everybody learns about what happened back then.
The event highlighted the week-long festivities happening in Harrisburg for Juneteenth, including a parade and a concert open to all.
It's a very diversified experience. In a sense, there's not just one genre of individuals. You have older, you have younger. It's family-oriented, it's educational, it's fun.
Organizers say events like these help bridge the gap between generations and continue to be a space where history isn't just remembered, but lived, shared, and passed down.
It's a great way for us to be able to just celebrate the uniqueness that we share, and where we can have pride in the things that we do, and to give hope and to just stimulate our people with joy, innovation, creativity, and fun. And we like to have a good time, so come to the cookout.
Yeah, everybody should probably come out here and, see about Juneteenth.
Milena Brown, Fox 43 News.
Well, welcome back to the Black News Beat. I hope you enjoyed the first segment. We had a lot to discuss. Definitely give us a share, give us a like, give us a follow. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we're on LinkedIn. So we are live in all those places right now. And we usually also post to TikTok and some other places, but definitely want to let you know to like and follow us on all those platforms. And especially because we are talking about upcoming events. First of all, we have Topics Tuesday every single Tuesday at Culture and Commerce Co-working on North 4th Street here in downtown Harrisburg. Really not too far from where we are in the studio right now, about 2 blocks away. So you should definitely come catch the vibe and the conversation. We are excited to have that space. Every week we talk about trending topics. We talk about what's happening in the news, and a lot of the topics I cover on the show, we go in depth on during our sessions on Tuesdays. And it's a really great place to make sure that you are testing out ideas. So definitely come on, hang out with us. We would love to have you. We start at 7, BYOB, BYOF, BY a friend, bring your own friends. But we really want to have that be a community space where we're having conversations that matter to us. And of course, I don't know if you guys know, but I do teach courses on AI for business owners and business leaders. So I am teaching a course coming up on April the 16th, which is next Thursday, called Leaps and Bounds in AI. It's going to be at 12 p.m. It's about 12 p.m. to 1:30, right over your lunch hour. And it's virtual. It's for business owners. And basically, we are talking about how much AI has grown leaps and bounds in the last 6 months and what that means for you and your business. So definitely, please check into that. Please sign in. It is free. And it's shout out to our partners at Next Gen IT and the Tech Connect folks. This is of South Central Pennsylvania. This is the outfit that offers these free learning series for employers on how to pull AI into their businesses, how to adapt in the age of AI. We're also going to have an AI community business group coming up where we discuss all of the leaps and bounds of AI on a monthly basis. Because as you know, things are getting really, really hectic with AI. And some of it's good. Some of it's not so good, and we need to talk about all of it. So definitely tune in for that. Again, April the 16th at 12 p.m. It is virtual. You can definitely sign in, and you can definitely sign up because it is what? Free. Also coming up, we have Death and Taxes documentary screening at 6 p.m. on Tax Day. Does anybody even know when Tax Day is? Yes, Tax Day is April the 15th. We'll be doing stuff all day long with Democracy PA. We will be talking, we'll have a press conference in the morning talking about taxation in the state of Pennsylvania. We'll also be having the screening of the Death and Taxes documentary at 6 p.m. at Midtown Cinema. So definitely join us. I'll be on the panel that night answering questions for a talk back after the film. So definitely join us for that. And I'm giving away free tickets to the screening for Death and Taxes at Midtown Cinema that day through Affordable PA. Shout out to our partners, Affordable Pennsylvania. And full disclosure, I do work with them. So I want to make sure that these tickets are available to you. You can come, you can ask questions and be a part of that and really understand the work that we're doing around taxation in the state of Pennsylvania and federally. Next, we shout out to Elise Urbis at Culture and Commerce Co-working. She's going to have her Pitch It To Me masterclass coming up. This is a wonderful, wonderful way to really get your business out there and learn how to pitch. So you definitely should take advantage of that coming up at Culture and Commerce Co-working. If you have a business idea, this is where you learn to sell it. And we'll have more information about that on the Black News Beat page. And Black Maternal Health Week is next week, right around the corner from April 11th to 17th. It's happening at the Capitol. Check the Black Maternal Health website for more information, rallies, press conferences, workshops. It's actually a wonderful week of celebration and also learning. And the workshops will be happening right here at the Capitol in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And if you're from out of town watching, take the trip. This is a wonderful week of learning. I learn so much every year at this. Definitely hit us up and come to that as well. And last but not least, Juneteenth HBG 2026 is right around the corner. We're just over 2 months out. Follow us on Instagram for the lineup and ways to get involved. We have a full week for you, juneteenthhbg.com, juneteenthhbg.com, so you can learn about all those things and stay up for the tickets. Sunday, we're going to be having the kickoff. It's going to be on Facebook Live. And it's also going to be live on all the platforms, but we're going to be giving away tickets to the week, making sure that you're well aware. And I usually go live every morning during the week to let you know what's coming up. We need volunteers for this. We need people involved. You'll see the call for speakers coming up for the summit. You'll see the concert graphics going up. You'll see a whole bunch of things happening to get you involved. And if you are a performer, an artist, we'll be having the Juneteenth showcase in May to choose the performers that will be opening for the headliner in June. Ooh, so that's going to be at Capital City Music Hall on May the 22nd. You should definitely come and sign up for that. That sign up is going to be on the Power Choice Productions page. Shout out to Yanni Williams, who is the chair over the concert and also going to be producing the concert and the showcase. So definitely check that out. Shout out to Eric Smallwood, who's going to be a judge. There's so many Five Mics who's going to be there. We have so much great things in store for that. So there's a lot going on. Shout out to everyone involved. We are going to have a great week. We have a wonderful, wonderful returning set of chairs and collaborative partners who have been helping us bring this into year 7. So this is super exciting. I am glad and happy to give you more information on that. Definitely follow us on the Black News Beat page. Shout out to the YPOC. If you're not a member, this is definitely the time. It's always a great time during Juneteenth and the months leading up to Juneteenth to become a member. There are perks that go with that. You get reduced prices to everything that we do. And most of this stuff is already low cost and no cost. But, you know, if there is a cost and you're a member, you get a little discount on that too. So that is what we have going on. There's a ton of other events going on in the area. Do you have an event that you want me to talk about on the show? Let me know. We'll hear more too from our very special guest that's coming up next. And now I can tell you, because we're about to go to commercial and bring her on, please stay tuned because we have a wonderful community titan. We are celebrating Black Women's History Month, and none other than living Black Women's History herself, Miss Rafiyqa Muhammad, is here today. So give us a second. We'll be right back after a quick little break with Miss Rafiyqa Muhammad. See you in a sec.
My name is Dewan Dixon. I'm known as Juan99, they call me, and I am the founder and CEO of 99 Characters Entertainment. As you know, with the internet TV, Roku has expanded up to 50 million subscribers at the moment. And that's where we give our channel for Try 99 TV for our viewers and for our platform and talents. We host mashups to roasts to puppet shows, community events. We pretty much do everything from touring to local events. We really have a vast majority of different shows. Our content creation group is our collaborative network where we come together as a barter system. And we use different companies partnering together, and we use that avenue to give each other more for our dreams and our goals.
Rafiyqa, if you feel like you need to move this, you totally can. Don't feel like you.
Oh, you can't hear me, huh? How about now? Oh, this your moment, hey, not right now. If you a hating nigga, please pipe down. Cause I don't know if it's we the beat, this bitch too loud. I was down bad, I ain't had no cash. Now these hoes mad cause the camera lights flash. I was down bad, I ain't had no cash. Now these hoes mad cause the camera lights flash. Bitch, I'm a boss. I only focus on comments and stress when I'm taking a loss. Round of applause. I see these hoes double back as soon as they see what it.
La Tiendita is Harrisburg's premier store for everything Ecuador. In this store, you will find a variety of cultural and traditional products and ingredients like chocolate that you can't find anywhere else in Harrisburg. La Tiendita also ships packages directly to Ecuador. If you have any family or friend, you can also do a direct money wire transfer to their bank account in Ecuador. La Tiendita is open every morning at 8:30 a.m. and you can find them at 3126 Sycamore Street right here in Harrisburg.
I built my coffee shop from the ground up. Every penny counts. So these tariffs are creating chaos. Coffee beans are imported. I can't afford to pay the tariffs out of pocket. These tariffs have the potential to destroy my business. But Congressman Scott Perry supported the tariffs. They're another tax driving up costs on small businesses like mine to give tax cuts to big corporations and billionaires. Scott Perry should be looking out for small businesses instead of big corporations. I wish Scott Perry was looking out for us.
Welcome back to the Black News Beat. Listen, it's been quite the show already, and I know y'all get sick of hearing me talk, so I do have a guest, okay? I am here with Miss Rafiyqa Muhammad, also known to me as Auntie Rafiyqa. Hello!
Hello. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm so glad you're here. You're one of my favorite people in the world, so.
Oh, so are you. You're one of my favorite people in the world, too. It's not that many people that
I
give
know
that title to.
That is why I'm like always like, oh, you know who likes me and you can't do nothing about it? Miss Rafiyqa. Absolutely. So today you're here and you are the definition of living Harrisburg history. You are a community leader, a mother, and a master of the earth. You've been doing this a long time. You've been doing a lot of things a long time. Mm-hmm. So tell us about you. What do you want folks to know about you in this new, I wouldn't even say new, but this, where we are in life right now?
Oh, where we are in life right now, it's a lot. Right now in my life, just putting things in place, particularly us as Black women, and particularly as mothers, and even if we're not mothers, just trying to hold our family in place. I'm definitely a believer of a lot of our old school ways that we were brought up in, and I utilize them, even as I raise my children, my grandchildren, and now raising great-grandchildren.
Wow.
So yes, the old school methods that I remember that our parents, used and took us through, they still apply. And I just feel that we as mothers and women taking care of our families, we need to look back and bring some of that forward because we didn't have a lot of issues like we have now. This is my home, born and raised here, was born on Raleigh Street. So yeah, I'm really considered an uptown girl.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Lived all throughout the city. My family has done a lot in this city. I just don't, disclose. They did. We just build. We do what we need to do. We see what needs to get done, and we just do it.
Yeah.
And when I think about when we were children and how we was raised here in the city, that was what happened.
Yeah.
You seen something, you did it. You seen trash on the street, you pick it up. When the lights came on, you knew where you were supposed to be. We didn't have all this activity here. Parents disciplined. And that's one thing I really want to drive home right now. You can discipline your children.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This whole thing that you can't put your hands on your children is not true. No, you can't kill them. That takes it to another level. But our children need to be disciplined. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with, tanning that behind. There's nothing wrong with it. It seems for me and in my household, that's how I can get things done.
Yeah.
because it seems the more nice that I talk and this and that, and you know, it does. But then when that other side comes out,
And
now we get something.
I've had conversations with my friends. So one of the things that I've had two friends who have had arguments with this about, because I go back and forth about this a lot because of how I was raised, right? I come from a West Indian household, and they was absolutely 10 and behinds. Okay. And a lot of us say, well, we turned out fine, so it must not be that bad. And other folks say there's some psychological trauma that comes along with that. So what do you think about those two things?
It's psychological trauma, unfortunately. And I'm just going to take it back. Like, you know, again, everybody knows the story how we got here as Black people. So let's put that in perspective. We've been traumatized because nobody came and deprogrammed us at all. And still to this day, we have not been deprogrammed.
Yeah.
You know, we've been lied to, you know, cheated on, raped, and the list goes on and on. And if you don't know, I encourage people to do history about yourself. It's a lot there. So with that being said, when people talk about that, when I look at how we were treated as a people, we were abused.
Yeah.
Should we use it as far as discipline our children? Well, then folks that love their scriptures say what? Spare the rod, spoil the child.
That's right.
So, you know, when I read scriptures, I see a whole lot of tail kicking going on in that book. This put it in perspective, because we're so confused, and I'm going to use the word confused because we are. We're so into an illusional mindset. It's very scary and it's dangerous. So, you know, either you going to follow your book or you're not. So if the God said that it's okay, then it's okay.
Yeah. And is there a line between abuse and correction?
Of course. There's a line between abuse and correction. So, you know, if you're abusing someone, then yeah, you probably need help. But we all need help. We're all going through stuff.
Yeah.
And we have to support each other. Yeah. There's a lot of people, for whatever reason. Well, first of all, I don't like messy. You can call it whatever you want it. Hit dogs are going to holler. They're going to holler. But there's a lot of people that's messy. I'm not going to play with your messiness. Yeah. If I like you, if I love you, that's what it is. If I don't, that's what it is. Nobody's going to force me to do anything. And we have people around here, you know, that will try to do just those things. Yeah. You know, want to threaten you, want to send you texts and stuff like that in your emails because you're not complying with them or going along with them. That's a problem. Yeah. And that's abuse. Yeah. So when we talk about
I was just going to say there's different kinds of abuse.
It's different kinds of abuse. And then when we look at our children, they see a lot what we're doing as adults. Like, you know, they mock what we do. So I'm just going to put it like this. We as adults, we have to get it together because our children been watching.
Yeah.
And they're still watching. And a lot of their behavior is coming from us.
Yeah.
You know, I can't sugarcoat this. We shouldn't sugarcoat it. We shouldn't say it doesn't exist because it does. It's right in our faces. So anybody that don't see that the sky is blue, which really in reality is not, if you can't see that this wall over here is red, which it is, nobody's going to tell me nothing no different. So I just have to put the onus back on us.
Yeah. So speaking of, you know, raising kids and everything in this city, so you've been here your whole life. You're on the third generation that you're raising. How many kids in this generation are you raising?
Two right
now.
I have 8 great-grandchildren,
Wow.
but it's 2 that's living with me because of the fact their parents abandoned them.
Wow.
Okay, so, you know, one is my grandson and the mother. You know, and we shouldn't be bringing children in this world if we're not going to take care of them. Everybody
100%.
wants to run around here and have sex and play.
Yeah.
The outcome of that is either disease or child.
Absolutely.
It's just
It's
as
one of the
simple.
two. Yeah.
You know, and it only takes one time.
Well, there's another option, but
Yeah,
not a good one.
it only takes one time. No. So with this situation that I'm in, you know, yes, I'm raising great-grandchildren, been having them since 2019.
Wow.
And it's been interesting because they both have mental disabilities. And we're dealing with a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's a really good kind of segue into like affordability. So you're dealing with kids who have mental health concerns. That means appointments. That means IPs. That means all these different things. So how's the definition of affordability changed for families since you started your journey of raising kids?
Can't afford it.
Can't afford it. And like how now we're I don't know, from day to day it changes. We're at war, we're not at war, who knows what it is. But these conflicts also raise prices on groceries and healthcare. Talk to me about what that's looking like for your family.
It's expensive. Again, I'm gonna go back to old school methods because
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing since I've been having children. Yes, I used to make all of our clothes, what I
Yeah.
could make. I do know how to sew.
Oh.
Started growing food
Yeah.
to ease our bills. At that time, my late husband wasn't about no daycares or whatever. We're gonna keep this as a family. We
Yeah.
developed our own business, started doing things in the community.
You had
His
your own
goal was
school?
to had our own school. His
Yeah.
goal was to keep his children close. He didn't want other people to be impressionable on his children's
Yeah,
minds.
yeah.
Not only that, we looked at other people's children. That's why we put our school together. Our district was crazy then,
Yeah.
still crazy now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use that term, crazy.
The district, I mean, you see what's happening with Roland and
I see
Marshall.
But we allow this stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of these things, these people are in positions, whether they're elected or appointed. We as a community, I don't trust nobody but the Most High and myself. But I'm listening. I'm willing to give everybody some grace. But when we put these people in these positions or elect them in these positions, I don't know what happened. I don't know
Yeah.
what they drinking or what they smoking. I don't know. But they do a flip. And that is really dangerous.
Yeah, it's very
And this is something that we need to look at, not just here in Harrisburg, but just everywhere. You know, who are these people that's really sitting in these seats?
Yeah.
And if you're scared to ask the hard questions, and if they're afraid to answer the hard questions, that should be all red flags.
Right.
Right now, I'm really looking at this whole voting game. I know it's a game. Like, come on,
Especially
y'all.
locally.
We got to understand that we're playing a game here.
Especially locally.
Locally, globally, nationally, it doesn't matter. It's all a game. And, you know, in order to, you know, how America was set up, you know, people don't believe, you know, oh, our founding fathers, them people was doing all kinds of stuff. That's why we're in the situation we're in now.
100%.
100%.
I mean, when you look at the leaders, the global leaders today, and how so many global leaders have been toppling behind these Epstein files. Like, that's one that from the Prince.
I'm going to go further. The founding fathers are the Epstein files.
Oh, I mean,
come on,
the original
y'all.
ones.
The original ones. Because they were all slave owners. They were all doing things.
They were all raping their slaves.
You know, our first president running around here with slave skin and teeth in his mouth.
I was going to say, wearing their teeth.
Let's deal with the issue the way it
Using
is.
their hair for pillows. Yeah, all of those
Just all
things.
kinds of stuff. Using our babies for bait. Still using today our children for bait.
Literally using the babies for actual crocodile and alligator bait.
All
That's
kinds
a real
of
thing.
stuff. So when we look at that and look at what's going on right now, tell me what the changes are, because I don't see
I was going to say
changes.
they're just following in the footsteps of their founding fathers. So, so back to affordability for a moment. Can you talk to me about? So you were talking a little bit about the children have mental wellness concerns and disability. How does that affect affordability, especially with the school system the way it is? Because a lot of this shows up in school.
Because I'm running around taking them to appointments.
Yeah.
When I say that I'm dealing with a team, I'm talking 2 boys.
Wow.
When I say I'm dealing with a team, I'm dealing with 2 different schools. So we're dealing with the IPs and the team that this school has, dealing with children that are autistic or may have mental disabilities. Then I'm dealing with another school, same thing. They function differently. So I really had to go to the administration about them. Then they're in, they have psychiatric care.
Yep.
So that's a whole nother team, 2 different. So when I sat down and counted all the people I'm dealing with, like,
wow,
I'm pushing close to 20 folks.
That's a lot of people.
That's
a lot of people.
And just to keep everybody in sync with the family, what we need and what they're requesting and asking. And for me, I'm just the way that I am. I like to have order.
Absolutely.
So I done signed off on every document that there is to sign off on, so everybody can talk to each other.
Yes.
Because they wasn't talking to each
Wow.
other.
Which makes it so difficult to coordinate.
It's very, very frustrating. And then when I start cussing,
people get mad.
No, they don't get, they just look shocked. I don't know what more to do. Like, you know, you use the nice tone and the this and the that, you know, and then there's just some people that just don't respond.
Yeah.
So I'm talking from, I'm gonna say principals, IPs, therapists, you know, everybody's talking now.
Yeah.
And I'm included in those emails and in those texts.
That's amazing.
The thing is that if I'm dropped out of them, that's a red flag for me. And that's going to be a
Absolutely.
problem for you. See, we have to also, everybody's saying we got to work together. I'm willing to work with anybody.
Yeah.
But when you're being messy, I'm not going to play with your mess.
Yes.
I'm just not. So I have everybody working together. Just as of yesterday, there was a big meeting.
Wow.
There's some decisions I have to make with one of the children. So we dealt with that.
Yeah.
And it was 12 people on that call
12
yesterday.
people.
For one child, but it's the support service.
Yes, it is the support services.
I just want everybody to communicate so we all can make the best decision for the children.
Yeah.
And then I always look at beyond me. What about these other children?
Yeah.
Because if their parents or grandparents or great grandparents don't know how to go through this maze, because that's what it is.
It is definitely a maze.
Some people will just shut down.
Yeah.
They'll just stop. Now the child is not getting maybe the services that they need to get. Then we're going to take it a step further, which even is happening with me. There's a lot of turnover in this particular system.
Yeah.
When we're talking about our school system, when we're talking about our health system, our mental health system. So, and I just want to just say this to whoever that's in those systems, you got to think about the families that you're impacting. You got to do the work.
Yeah.
It's not just about a paycheck. Once I find that out, I'm coming after your paycheck. And I have. I've came after some people's paychecks, and some people have lost their job. It's not because of me. You're not doing your part. Yeah. Because trust me, if I'm not doing my part, you would close my case in a heartbeat.
And try to snatch your kids.
Snatch your kids, have you all fined up,
Yeah.
and possible jail time.
Absolutely.
Folks is not paying attention. I'm going to cover myself because
Absolutely.
now I'm going to look at what you're doing. And
so,
a lot of people are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
And so tell me about the hidden costs. One of the things dealing with a lot of these support services, you mentioned gas, but there's a lot of hidden costs that families absorb that they are not explicitly stated. So any hidden costs for you?
Yeah,
that you're dealing with?
clothing, because they're really, technically, they're not my children per se. So I am, paying for clothing.
Yeah.
They're growing boys.
Yeah.
I do get help with food. When we're talking about lights and electricity, shut them lights off, take things out the walls.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that really has brought my light bill down 18%.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Just making a little adjustment. I have a 5-bedroom house.
Yeah. And
So
these
just to
houses in
make-
Harrisburg are like,
They're older, but I
Old.
mean, I don't have old inner workings. Everything is brought up to
that's
code.
good. Yes.
But what I'm saying is that just making those little adjustments. I used to have lights on at night. I turned a lot of those off. Again, unplugging things that we're not using. If we're out of the house, just like right now, the boys' rooms are shut down. What I'm meaning, there's nothing plugged in there. They're not there for 8 hours. Or
So
more.
turn it off?
So turn it off.
Yeah.
And when I got my bill and it was like, oh, well, you're 18% lower than what you. I'm like,
That's
oh, we're gonna keep this
awesome.
going.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
some of these things we have to think
Yeah.
and use alternative methods.
Mhm.
So we can continue to live comfortably. And I'm not saying
Absolutely.
living comfortably with the fancy car. I'm just talking about basic stuff.
Absolutely right.
To me, that's living comfortably. I want to have heat.
We do. Well, I mean,
I want to have.
I
air
forgot
when
to
I need it.
complain about this, but it's still cold in April.
Yes.
So we need heat still.
We still need
Oh, my
heat.
gosh.
But we just have to think washing your clothes at certain times of the day,
Yes.
weekends, early in the morning or late at night. All of those little things make a difference. But we're not thinking about those things.
So has your electric bill? I mean, I've been hearing people complaining about electric bills going up. So you saying yours has gone down?
It went up, but I made adjustments.
I see.
And if you go on PPNL's website and really look at your bill and read the fine print, which we don't, and we just overlook, it tells you that there's a place on there where you can look and see where you're getting most of your energy. What's pulling your
and
energy?
it has the always on section. And I was like, what is this always on section?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay, it's like your fridge and stuff, but also stuff you just have plugged in all the time. Your
Mine's just saying
TV.
heat because we use heaters.
That's right. Mine was the heaters.
Yep.
Same thing with mine. So I got to make it easier to turn off, I got the extension cords that have the button you can just step on.
Yes.
So that that way it's not like, oh, you got to unplug everything. But you take, you step on those, it cuts the electricity, and then you don't have to worry about it pulling out
Wear
the
and
wall.
tear on my vehicle.
Oh yeah.
I'm using it more these past several years
To
run around, and I take the children out to eat. We do things. They're learning how to grow food, and we've been doing that since they came. Discipline was definitely from day one.
Yeah,
they came in my house wild. That's all I can say. They came in there. I'm not used to just children that's all
These
over.
wild kids everywhere. Yeah,
wild kids, and I'm like, this
especially
is mine.
ones with with mental wellness concerns. And autism is something that is very well debated in our community about where it comes from and everything, but it's still a real thing. And I applaud you for being a great grandmother who's dealing, because now you tell me, from the time you were raising your kids to now, how has ideas about autism changed?
Well, I do know when I was raising children, everybody was running to this one particular doctor around here. I can't think of his name to get, and I guess he was doing it because everybody was getting a check. I'm like, well, you putting your kids on drugs for checks? That was a real thing around here.
That's back when it was just ADHD.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
All these
And
these initials and numbers, and I get confused. That's why I just tell the therapist, y'all do this, and I'm just sitting back listening
and learning.
Listening and learning, because it is a lot, and it is very, very interesting. I'm gonna be very, very honest, and this is just my opinion, and the research and things that I'm doing. A lot of things that we're dealing with, I swear it's environmental.
A lot of people are saying that.
I don't care what anyone says. Yeah. It's environmental.
A lot of it.
Again, when I think about our grandmothers and even our mother practically lived to be 100 years old. She was in her 90s when she passed. Yeah. She would always tell us, she said, the diseases and things that we have now, they didn't exist when I was a child. We forget about the World War II and after that, dealing with, our whole agriculture system went into a reset. If you're listening on the news, they keep saying about this reset. And what does reset mean? We're going to start over on what? Something didn't happen, right? So I don't know what the reset is, but it's a little terrifying. But we can reset too.
Yeah, absolutely right.
We could reset as families. We could reset as a people. If something's not working, try something else. So I do a lot of reset once I'm going to do my research. And researching with words is very, very critical.
Absolutely.
Because reset means something else on a government level.
100%.
It means something else when we talk just in the community. Yes. So we need to really learn how, I don't want to say play with words, but use them in a way that makes sense and to give you impact.
100%. And also to cut through a lot of the messy and the red tape and the shrouding, break through barriers. Words do help me do that.
Yes.
Agreed. So my next question, which is something I think you're very obviously very familiar with, is you are known in the community for your green thumb. You can grow anything.
Not anything.
In a city of concrete, why is it so vital for our people to have their hands in the soil?
Well, through my journey, how I even got into this, some people do know I have shared this over the years, is that I had a very intense dream a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I normally don't dream, but when I do, I pay very close attention. And the dream was that, I was going to be teaching people how to grow food. It was very vivid, like almost detailed. And I smile when I do things now because back then. And at that time, I told my husband, Ali, I said, I had this dream to be teaching people how to grow food. I don't know what to do. I do what I do for us.
Absolutely.
And he said, knowing you're going to figure it out.
Facts.
So here I am today.
And you figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some projects that you have coming up with food and the community and growing food?
Well, I do have 2 workshops. I did plan some workshops, I want to say a couple of months ago, but the weather that's when we had the freezing temperatures.
Right. Oh, right.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
really
we didn't. So basically we're doing these now.
Is this your Ngozi Presents Let's Get Dirty?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
So we have one coming up on the 18th, which is next Saturday.
Wow.
And then we have another one coming up on the 25th.
That's my birthday.
Okay. Happy
That's
birthday.
My birthday. Yeah,
and another one on the 25th coming up, and that'll be at the Camp Curtin YMCA on 6th Street at the garden site there. But to say this is so important. When I do teach classes, I learn a lot from my students, and participants. And the myth is when we talk about gardening and growing food, everybody thinks you just dig a hole, throw that seed in there.
Yeah, that's what they think.
And it's okay. And it's not that.
That's not all there is to it.
There's preparation involved. I do teach people how to, like, if you want to get started, I've came to your space and took you through all kinds of stuff.
Yes, that's right.
Basically, you got to observe your yard and your space. When is the sun coming up? When does it go down? When it rains is the best time also, because you want to know where puddles are.
100%.
How's the water flowing?
Yes.
How's it coming off your house? There's all kind of things. So observation is something first before you even put a seed into the ground.
100%.
When I say that to people look at me like deer in headlights, like, what? Like, what? I said, we can't do, we don't know. You might have to test your soil. There's different methods of testing your soil. You can call somebody in. I usually let's do it ourselves. I'm going to show you everything that I've learned over the decades that is effective.
So testing the soil, why is that? Well, I'll say why I'm asking this question. I've tried to grow things, actually at your behest. Strawberries, corn. What else have we tried to grow? A couple of the things. But I think with the step we missed, we only had one corner of the yard where the soil was really rich for some reason, but the rest of the yard, the soil was not that great.
And you know what, Dr. Campbell? It might not be the soil.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to spray their yards.
Oh, we don't spray
and
it.
Well, and even before you got your property,
somebody
what happened
probably
to the soil? And people don't realize that Roundup and other things that they use, it will stay in your soil for decades.
Really?
So when you do plant, and it might start growing, but then everything looks mutated, I wouldn't eat it. So we might have to do raised beds in your yard. We do that at Camp Curtin.
The strawberries, for example, came in and they never would turn red. Only like a couple of them would turn red. They would just stay green and white.
Nope, they wouldn't. So there's something going on in the soil. So I don't know, but that would be where your soil testing would come in. And I normally ask people, there's ways that I grow with, I don't use fertilizers from the store. I have natural fertilizers. I plant certain flowers and vegetables that work with each other. That's called companion planting.
Yes.
I just did something and posted up on my Facebook page about the common milkweed. And planting that in your yard, because it seems like the aphids last year I had very little pests to deal with because milkweed? They was loving the common milkweed. So I'm telling people, put that in your yard.
You know who really likes milkweed?
The butterflies.
The butterflies and those daggone lanternflies. They love milkweed,
but it kills them. It's like they're
and then they go, oh, I'm like, y'all should keep eating it though. Y'all are weird, because there's been a whole bunch of dead ones in the yard. Oh my God. And it was because we had two plants. We had pokeweed, which I'm allergic to. I think a lot of people are allergic to pokeweed and just don't know, and milkweed, and they try to eat both of those things. And then the other one it's a vine, but they call it the tree of life or something.
Yes. Get it out your yard. That's what they feed on. That's their home.
I dug that. I had to look this up. And it was a huge stalk back by we had a little shed in the back, took that out. And then the lanternflies diminished by like 90% out of the backyard.
Because they live off of that tree.
I see. And somebody mentioned it, but I was like, I got to get it out also because it's just invasive.
Yes.
Also. Yes. And it'll grow like a tree, but it's not really a tree. It's like it has a big green stalk that never turns brown. But
well, you have to catch them when they're young.
Yes.
So, and there's some things that I even deal with at the Camp Curtin Y. There's these little green things, but I know they'll turn into trees. Some of our trees are really little weeds that turn into trees.
Yes, they are little weeds.
And we have a lot of poison ivy trees. People don't realize people don't realize that the poison ivy can turn into trees. There's several of them, I want to say, on Hamilton Street, but unless you know what they look like, you understand what I'm saying? You wouldn't know, how to deal with it.
That's terrifying.
Yes, it is. It is.
To be very frank, that's very wild.
So
I don't like it.
There's a lot to gardening, and I do want to put this out for everybody. Everybody gardens different. Yeah. Every farmer farms different. Every technique is different. What might grow in my yard might not grow in your yard, and vice versa.
That's so
I'm very careful with introducing new plants with soil into our garden.
Yeah.
Over the years, I did have some. I call them invasive, but they were food that you can eat, like the red amaranth. Just took over the yard.
Is that the dashing bush that we talked about that one time? The arametha. When you cook.
Yes, you can cook and make grains and stuff out of it. I remember Nadine at the porterhouse. She gave me some seed for the callaloo.
I was gonna say, Miss Nadine, that's a similar bush.
Callaloo took over the yard.
Callaloo gonna take over the yard. Callaloo gonna take over.
So it's just it's just certain things.
And you can't contain it.
Oh, I got rid of all of it.
You're like, it's all gotta go.
It's all gotta go. It's all gotta go.
You cannot contain it. It just spreads and does whatever it wants.
Well, you smother it.
It's very crazy.
You smother it like you do any other weed. Yeah. And there's just a lot of things to learn about gardening. And I think that we all need to learn how to grow something,
especially in this climate that we're in, with a international conflict affecting our food sources.
Oh, it's going to affect our food sources.
And people think because there's a ceasefire that they're not. Oh, it's a relief. No, because that ceasefire doesn't mean that our gas isn't still going to be affected. that diesel is what transports a lot of our food to our communities in 18-wheeler and trucks. And so growing things locally matters most right now.
And we should be supporting our local farmers. We have farmers right here within our city
Oh,
limits.
absolutely.
That's in a short distance from us that we can do that. There's some things that I'm thinking about pulling together. We're getting a couple families that we can go in on a cow and we can get some
that's
goats
amazing.
and do certain things as far as our meat source. You know, I remember when we were growing up as children, everybody gardened.
Yeah.
You know, when I looked out back, all of our neighbors and what you didn't grow, this neighbor did.
Right.
And, you know, we need to bring a lot of that community
100%
back.
100%.
You know, all of us hating on each other. And yeah, a lot of us went to school with each other and what we did in school. See, I'm from here, so I can talk about it.
You can.
I know what
this
y'all
is your
folks,
business.
I know what y'all folks is doing. And we still bringing that crap into our adulthood. And then you passing that mess to our children. Like, it has to stop.
Absolutely right. And my next question is this. What does Black Harrisburg history mean to you as somebody who is actively writing it every day?
We got a lot of history here in Harrisburg.
Absolutely do.
What it means to me is that we need to really talk about Harrisburg and the foundation of the city.
Yeah.
We also need, what it means to me also is that these white folks around here got to stop being afraid of saying that there were slaves here.
Yeah. People don't like to remember that history though.
Well, it was here.
They were like, but there weren't that many. They still had some.
There were slaves here. I'm sorry. The lady that was the sister that was freeing the slaves, she came through here and brought a lot of it. Harriet Tubman, right on Front Street.
2 underground railroad stops in the city limits.
Right here. We have graveyard sites.
Yes.
Which a lot of times get abused in ways.
I mean, just ask Rachel with Soul, Saving Our Ancestors' Legacy.
Yes.
They abuse that graveyard
terribly,
horribly. They bust up the stones because they don't want the history to be remembered.
And the history, we have to again know the history.
They urinate on the grave sites. They dump trash. They deface the headstones, and you don't see that happening in graveyards and cemeteries that belong to white families and ancestors and people. Yeah, you better not even walk through them.
Can't
and
even
I just
walk
think
through
it's
them.
and they'll bust the gate down. She put up a gate around the Soul, the Saving Our Ancestors Legacy, the Lincoln Cemetery, and they had busted down the gate at one point. And are they held accountable? No. And even if they make reports, we're not held accountable.
I know, particularly the one that's down in Stilton, that the sister down there takes care of. There's a road through there, so they just went on ahead and just forget about people being buried there. They put the road on top of there so they can have access to their houses and stuff. So these are the things that we talking about, what we're doing as far as Black history here in Harrisburg. We have a lot of Black history here.
Yes, we do.
It's not told. It's not talked about. There's a gentleman that written a book about Harrisburg, had his little outfit on. There was nothing in there about no slaves.
Which guy?
I'm so bad on names.
It wasn't the Blue Orchard one, was it? That was another interesting book written from the perspective of the nurse who worked with the Black doctor who got the Capitol built back in the day.
Nope, it wasn't
That's
her.
a really good book.
He just did I want to say a couple months ago, they was promoting his book, and he was on, I think it was 27 when they do the early morning, and he was talking all about Harrisburg, and as he was flipping through, and I'm just like,
I'll look that up.
That book is not true because you haven't talked, first of all, at least talk about Samson.
Yeah.
He didn't even mention that.
Wow.
It was all about John Harris and what he's doing. If anybody really goes and looks at the layout, how Harrisburg used to look, it was a barren land.
Wow.
I still think slaves were sold in the Broad Street Market. I get folks stirred up. The white folks be snapping.
They were very upset about it.
My whole thing is if they were sold on Market Street, they were sold in that market.
The market.
Oh,
right.
Well, Rafiyqa, no, they couldn't be because people don't realize after the Civil War, it was still 100 years before anybody was so-called free. Again, we're not thinking.
I mean, we this is why we do Juneteenth the way we do, because it was an 85-year march towards freedom from the time that Pennsylvania first had partial, it was not full abolition, to the time the slaves in Galveston were freed in Texas. That was 85 years. That's 2.5 generations. In addition to the fact there are now reports that there were still slaves not freed until there were still pockets of slaves still not freed till well after that, well after 1865, and well after Galveston, Texas. So these narratives, even though people say, oh, that can't be true, I say, let's look at, people are saying this could have possibly happened because we understand the time from which the literal fight for abolition that spans at least 85 years. I'm only saying 85 years from Pennsylvania and the recognized Union states. I'm not talking any other state yet. I'm only talking the North, and I'm only talking from the time from 1780 to 1865. That's it, right? And that's a much I would say a microcosm of a period than the entire landscape of the abolitionists and the emancipation landscape. So yeah. So I am so glad I got to talk to you today. It's been interesting because we went from raising kids to affordability to talking about your green thumb. But for me, all these things are connected. As we move through this second Trump administration,
I don't even like to, and that's another thing too. Like this is being allowed. Yeah. I mean, if anybody again sitting around here acting like they don't understand, something's wrong with you. Yeah. Why are people allowing? Allowing is a word. That's the word. This man to do what he's doing.
Democrats and Republicans.
Everybody. Like it's okay. Yeah. We're talking about a pedophile here. Literally. People eating kids. Like, come on, y'all. Are you seriously?
Throwing children allegedly into lakes and all these different things.
Having babies, killing babies, and all kinds of stuff.
It's terrifying.
But then when you look at what we just talked about, slavery, it's a repeat.
It's not different.
It's no different. It's a repeat.
This disregard for human life also then shows up in the fact that you think you can just bomb 90 people out of the
don't forget they was eating us too.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
When they had us enslaved, they was eating us too. Absolutely. And eating our babies too. So we have a lot to come to grips with.
Absolutely right.
Those of us that know, we don't have to come to grips with it. I appreciate our parents.
Absolutely.
Okay, because they were born in the turn of the century.
Yeah.
So for them sharing with us as their children, don't do this, don't do that, pay attention to this, pay attention to that, be mindful of this, be mindful of that, that stuck with us.
Yeah.
Now what happened after that, I don't know.
Well, industrialization happened.
Yes,
colonialization happened.
It did happen.
Colonization came before, but
and still letting us be in that so-called
globalization happened. Yeah.
So-called matrix. All I'm just saying is for us and your audience that we gotta. Everybody says wake up. We got to deprogram ourselves.
And the deprogramming. I think some people are awake, but if you are awake without any deprogramming, without any reprogramming, once you deprogram, what do you put in place of that?
The truth.
Yeah.
That's what you put in place.
And if you don't put anything in place, you're just going to fall back into the same traps.
And I'm not falling back. I'm telling people, get off the gerbil wheel.
That's right.
And there's some people that are comfortable with staying on that wheel.
Oh, yeah.
We got to come off the wheel. And I think we can make changes and some improvements here in Harrisburg because there is a group of us that want to just
100%
flip this thing on its head.
Oh,
I think it's coming.
I think it's coming too. So before we end, because I don't want to keep the whole studio here all day, I just want to show your workshops coming up. So Ngozi Let's Get Dirty presents 2 workshops featuring basic gardening methods. This is really important in the time that we're living in. So definitely check those out. Saturday, April 18th. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. That is 2nd and
R Street.
Streets in Steelton. And then April 25th, which is my birthday. Okay. At the YMCA, Camp Curtin YMCA branch on North 6th Street. So definitely check those out. This kind of work, people are like, what can we do in this time? You can grow your own food. You can learn how to garden. You can do things to make yourself less reliant on a system that wants to keep you reliant on it in order to control you. So I think that's really important. And I am happy to keep pushing that on the show, of course. So thank you, Ms. Rafiyqa. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. And we'll be right back with Last Lap. This is a lengthy interview, but I think it's really important. So tell your friends to run it back. See you in a sec. We'll be right back.
I built my coffee shop from the ground up.
I
built my coffee shop from the ground up. Every penny counts. So these tariffs are creating chaos. Coffee beans are imported. I can't afford to pay the tariffs out of pocket. These tariffs have the potential to destroy my business. But Congressman Scott Perry supported the tariffs. They're another tax driving up costs on small businesses like mine to give tax cuts to big corporations and billionaires. Scott Perry should be looking out for small businesses instead of big corporations. I wish Scott Perry was looking out for us.
Let's start this going. Couple seconds.
Welcome back to the Black News Beat. We have arrived, ladies and gentlemen, last lap. And thank you to Ms. Rafiyqa Muhammad for being here. Auntie Rafiyqa, we appreciate you dropping a lot of knowledge for us and talking about some very important things as we, for where we are in the world. And before we get out of here, let's take our last lap. Let's do what let's close this out. This month, we're celebrating Black Women's History Month, as we saw with Ms. Rafiyqa and all the knowledge she dropped for us here. And we're honoring the leaders, creators, and the healers who carry this community. And speaking of healers, I want to circle back to that miraculous surgery we saw at the top of the show. A Black doctor saving a pregnant mother from a 17-pound fibroid is not just a feel-good medical story, and it does feel good. It is a direct life-saving intervention in a system that constantly fails us. And remember, next week, from April 11 to 17, is Black Maternal Health Week right here in Pennsylvania. And family, the numbers we are dealing with are at a full-blown crisis. The maternal health mortality rate in Pennsylvania is more than double the state average. In places like in Philadelphia, Black women account for 73% of pregnancy-related deaths. But here is the fact that should have us all demanding answers. Over 90% of pregnancy-associated deaths in the state are considered entirely preventable. Entirely preventable. Let's sit with that for a moment. This is exactly why representation in the operating room matters. This is why the Pennsylvania Black Maternal Health Caucus and the push for the PA Momnibus legislation matters. When we talk about Black women's history, we're not just talking about reading the past. We're talking about fighting for the right to simply survive and bring life into the world safely right now. So this week, check on the mothers in your life. And as we head into, from Black History Month into Mother's Day, I'll be showcasing more stories of mothers in our community. Support your local Black maternal health advocates and doulas, and keep holding folks in power accountable. This is important. If you don't hold them accountable and I don't hold them accountable, who will? I'm Dr. Kamiki Campbell, and as I say at the end of every show, please love on yourselves, clap for yourselves, big up yourselves. Without the community, there is no me, there is no us, there's no show. So we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for being here. Support Black media, stay informed, and I will see you soon. See you next week. We'll be on most weeks on Wednesday at 11 a.m. So please tune in, share the stream, share the page, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day. This has been Black News Week.